So what I have to see, it's quite a long video, so just be prepared for that. Find yourself a cup of tea, a coffee, Starbucks, hot chocolate, maybe a good soda, what have you. Find yourself some fruit, find yourself some food, sit down and relax. Or, you can always do also what I do sometimes when I see people have long videos. Just watch it in pieces. Because you don't really need to watch it all in one go. But yeah. So enjoy. This is my unread books video. Enjoy. Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back. So, you're looking at my back. Might be anyway. Looks kind of empty. Thinking, what's going on? Are you moving? What's going on? It's empty here, and here half of it is empty, and also the next at the top is empty. What is going on? Well, I decided to do a little video on my TBR books, which I quite a lot of. And there's several ways you can do this. You could do like a TBR tag. Pretty sure they exist. Maybe I've done them. Not sure. Don't think I have. Anyway, you can do that, or you can do a TBR shelf tour. I have actually planned to do a shelf tour, like tour my whole shelf. I've tried to film it so far. It's not really looking that good. So I might cheat and ask my sister to film it later this year because she's really good at filming. She might help me edit it as well. I don't know, might do that. But I'm not making any promises. I'm not saying like it will happen then and then. But I want to do it. But until then, I decided, you know what? I want to show you my unread books, which are quite a few, as I said. So yeah, instead of filming them one by one, I took them all out, and they're here, they're here on the floor. So yeah, now I'm gonna pick them up and show them to you one by one. I suppose that's kind of redundant. You can't really show them two by two. Well, you can, but I'm gonna show you one by one. Okay, let's start. And of course, some of these may be familiar to you because if you pay attention, you might have seen them in a haul, you might have seen them on the back or something. Or you might not have seen them all. I don't think I've showed all of them in a video, so some of these are new. Just so you are. Just so you are. Just so you know. Okay? Okay. Let's go. First one is The Contender by Tevan Mafaro. It's a British author. Australian? No, he's British. He's British. And he started at Wattpad and he writes fantasy for YA. This one is signed. I got it recently in London on my trip. And yeah, this one I'm thinking I want to get to this year. But you might say you want to get to it this year, but will you? No one really knows. Anyway, I'm really excited about this one. So this is actually one of the newest unread books I have. Moment. And then just put them from there to there too. It's not chaotic. And then we have Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabi Rivera. It's also a new purchase. It's in paperback. Well, you can see that. It's a contemporary YA book set around a queer Latinx girl. But I've heard that the love story is not mainly focused, so that's fun. I'm thinking I might read this in June, though who knows? I'm just going to be quick because there's a lot of books. But though, of course, I'm going to say a little bit about them. Then we have Georgia Peach and Other Forbidden Fruits by J.A. Robin Brown. It's a lesbian contemporary romance. And I'm planning to read this in June for Pride Month. And then we have Not the Girls You're Looking For by Amina May Safi. It's sorry. It's what's it called again? Words. Lesbian Iranian American contemporary romance or contemporary read in a way. And yeah. Then we have Patrick O'Brien. Oh, sorry, Patrick O'Brien is the author. The book is called The Mauritius Command. Mauritius. It's kind of a hard name to pronounce, even in English and Norwegian, I would say at least. But I mean, you know that island outside in Ocean Mauritius. I think it's in the Pacific Ocean. Anyway, Patrick O'Brien is a bit of an older but well-known historical adult author. And I saw this book in a flea market, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get you. So yeah. Then there's Listen to Your Heart by Casey West, a book that's contemporary, as most of her books are, and it's set around a podcaster, which is quite fun. How Not to Be a Boy by Robbie Webb. Robert Webb. I suppose he could be Robbie as well. It's a memoir, but it's also about the masculinity and toxic masculinity and being male in today's world. So this is gonna be an interesting read. Robert Webb is a British author. Sorry, well, he's a British author as well now, but he's mainly a British comedian. So you might have seen him around there. Here is him now, and that's him as a kid, I'm assuming. He's a very fun comedian, and yeah, let's move on. This is going to be a long video, so have to keep it going. The Dinner List by Rebecca Searle. It's by her anyway, Rebecca S. Let's just call her that. It's an adult romance based around the idea that they question age-old question like who would you invite for dinner if you could invite anyone, and the protagonist has a list, and all the people from the list comes. Some of them are supposed to be dead, so like, oh, you're alive, and it's Audrey Hepburn is also there and lots of stuff, so that's fun. And then we have actually a newer request purchase. I got this one this last weekend. Lobsters by Tom Allen and Lucy Evison. Contemporary YA romance. It's romance. And then we have Becoming Jin by Laurie Goldstein. It's YA fantasy set around genius, as you would assume. It's high fantasy, and yeah, it's the first one in the duology, at least in a series. Sorry. Then we have All the Fields by Danica Stone, a fandom book, so that's quite good and interesting. Yeah, it's a new purchase. It's YA contemporary. I think it's also, I'm not sure if it takes place in US or UK. Anyway, I own it. I haven't read it. Yeah. And then we have The Long Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's the second one in a series. I'm unsure if it's his last book or if there's more books to come. I just think these two, like this and the first one, have come out. I'm not sure if there are coming more. I don't know. Anyway, this is a YA thriller or YA fantasy, YA mystery, crime, what you want to call it. It's set around mysteries and it's dramatic and suspenseful. And yeah, oh yeah, also think Veronica Mars. You have very much the Veronica Mars feelings to this one. Oh, I haven't read this one, but I read the first one, which is very Veronica Mars-ish. And we have The Diary of a Confused Feminist by Kate Weston. It's a debut book. It's a white contemporary. It's an British author and feminist book, I'm assuming. So yeah. And then we have The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. It's the first one in the series. It's YA fantasy, YA high fantasy. It's queer. It's supposed to be diverse. Oh, it's set in Paris. Yeah, so it's fantasy, but not high fantasy. I thought it was high fantasy. Does it matter? Yeah, want to get to it. And then we have sorry, The Submerge Solution. Submerge words by G.L. Carriger, which is a synonym for Gail Carriger, the author over there. Those yellow and all those books at the end there. Oh, there. Yep. And this one is her, well, she has a lot of books, but this one is an adult book with lots of sex scenes, which is why she's changed her name here, GL, instead of saying Gail Carriger. It's Shapeshifters in modern San Francisco. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I think I might read it soon, but I'm not sure. As you never know when you get stuff. And then we have Good Omens in Norwegian, Gode Varsler by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I actually read this book a few years ago because I thought, why not? I didn't like it all that much, but people generally do like it very much, and I didn't hate it, so I think I might give it another go. I got this one from a friend. She had another copy from before, so she just gave me this copy. And yep. And then we have you'll be seeing more and more. Well, more and more. You'll be seeing some Norwegian books in here, which you've only seen some. So just be prepared. Be prepared for Norwegian craziness, Norwegian weird words, titles, and letters. Yeah. Then we have President's Hut by Antoine Laurien. It's originally French, and it's translated to The President's Hat. So it's a book about the president and how his hat is missing. I'm thinking, yeah, his hat is missing. And this has got lots of awards in Paris, in France, England, and US. And it's a book I got at a flea market, so I don't really know that much about it, but I want to get to it sometime. And then we have these next few books. Well, some of these books are flea market books, which I suppose you could see because they're not like very fine. They're a bit rough around the edges. Then we have Getting Over It by Anna Max. Max, that's also a name. Something you have to be called. It's a national bestseller. It's hilarious and move over, Bridget Jones. Cool. So it's laugh out loud and adult and fun. And yeah, I hadn't really looked that much into it. I just thought it looked fun. And I bought it a few years ago in a flea market. And yeah. Then we have me coughing. No. Then we have Meet Cute by authors because it's an anthology. But you have like Jennifer and Armentrout, you have Daniel Clayton, Katie Cotugno, Hunter Fitzpatrick, etc., etc. It's about romantic people. Well, romantic people. It's about people meeting, and it's a romantic anthology. Meet cute. Suppose you can understand, like from the films, they meet in a cute way, and yeah. And then we have A Vintage Promise by Christelle Dabos. Originally a French YA fantasy series. This is the first one, the first book in the series. I think it's a trilogy, but I'm not sure. It's got a very beautiful cover, and supposedly it has a very slow romance. It's romance in it, but very slow moving. So that's fun. I like those. Yep. I'm gonna pick up my stuff now. I'll put it there. All the books. Continue here. A Myth of the Explorer by Bo Riffenborough. Non-fiction book. I actually planned to read this last November for non-fiction November, and then I just kind of forgot about it. It's not big, but yeah. So I'm thinking I might do it this November. No, not sure. Might read it before. Might read it after. Who knows? And yeah. And then we have The Beginning of the World in the Middle of the Night by Jen Campbell. She's an author. Well, duh. She's written both adult books. She's written both non-fiction and children's books, and this is a short story collection around magical realism stuff. And yeah, actually, if you pay attention, I actually have this as current reading on my Goodreads. I started I think 2 years ago now. I started the first sentence, first paragraph, and I wasn't in the mood for it, and I got it from the library, had to return it. But now I own it, so yeah, I'm going to get this sometime. I'll read it or DNF it. Yes, I will. I will! Promise you. And then we have Song of the Sparrow by Lisa Ann Sennell. I think I got this actually from Amazon 2 or 3 years ago. It's been on my radar for some time. It's a historical YA book set around King Arthur. I just have to find the name, but yeah, King Arthur, and that era and period. I love Merlin, the BBC series, and I really like historicals. So yeah, curious to get to this one sometime. Well, I will get to it. I'm thinking I might, because as you might have noticed, I've done some themed months this year, done and doing. Like in February, I did mostly romance, which I end up shooting a bit, but mostly I did romance. And then in April, I'm doing funny books. I'm doing queer books in June, and I think, did I say something else? And then in November, it's non-fiction November, December, diverse December. I'm thinking I might do historicals in May because it's Norwegian National Day, and history of Norway, so history of books we could interpret it as, but I'm not sure. So yeah. Then we have Dragon Pearl by Jon Hali. It's a book in the Required and Presents series. It's Korean mythology, and it's science fiction. It was actually described as thriller, which I usually don't like, but I suppose, marketing. I really don't like thrillers, but I like mystery. So I suppose it could just be bad marketing. It could be still good, because I usually feel like thrillers are more scary and intense, but mystery is more oh, something is wrong. It's more calm, and yeah, thrillers I get more nightmares of in a way. So yeah. And then we have Vanished by Liz the Jaeger. It's a YA paranormal book. I think it's werewolves, but it might be demons. Not completely sure. I got it from a used bookstore. It looked cool. And that's all I know about it, really. And then we got this. I'm just gonna hold them here so it's easier. Blood Fever by Karen Mary Moaning. I got this one thinking it was the first book. It turns out it's the second book. Some people have been saying that it's not that good, but I still kind of want to read it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get the first book and then read the first and second book. And yeah, I want to get there. It's set in Ireland, so that's cool. It's adult, it's fantasy, and it's romance, and cool. Then we have a Norwegian book, Stillhet i Støyens tid of Alan Kagge. I just did the whole thing in Norwegian because, yeah. And it's a book about being introverted. And it's actually been sold to lots of different places in the world, so you can actually get it in other places as well. And you might not think so, but actually, like in videos, I'm not really that. But like in real life, I'm kind of shy, introverted. I like being in my own thoughts and daydreaming and stuff. So yeah, this one was actually a Christmas gift 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. So yeah, I wanted to get to it. Who knows when? But I'm gonna get to it. And then we have The Edge by Catherine Coulter. It's a historical romance. I got it from what's the word? Flea market or used to, pretty sure, because it's yeah, I got this one from flea market. I remember now. It's adult historical fantasy, historical romance. I think it's historical anyway. And yeah, then we have Pride by Tim Taste. No, Tim Tate. Sorry. I put an S in there. Well, Tate is not that normal word name either. But yeah, as you might see, it has the cover of the movie, which is because it's based around the movie. First, it's the movie, and then they wrote the book around the same subject. If you don't know, I suppose not everyone knows. Pride is the name of a English movie, UK movie, English movie, UK, English, Great Britain, all names, from 2014, 16, something like that, about a historical real life event in because in the 80s you had both the queer movement, the gay movement, but you also had the miners striking and they wanted better pay and stuff. And a group of gay people in London decided to go to Wales and help them strike and help them protest. So at first it was like a culture clash between different subcultures, but after a while they got along. And yeah, it's a really good movie. I saw it a few years ago in cinemas. Highly recommend it. And yeah, kind of want to read this book. Though because it's similar a thing, I'm not sure like how much I'll get out of it because it's supposed to be like more or less the same. But it's probably still fun because I really liked the movie. So yeah, I think I'm reading this in June, though who knows. And then you have Surprise Me by Sophie Kinsella. This is one of her newer books, and I actually got it at the the used bookstore. The one was at today. I haven't seen it before, but I'm seeing it now. Went to used bookstore today, where they often have lots of books. And yeah, I really like Sophie Kinsella's standalone books. I don't like her series, but I really like her standalone. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Then we have Not Your Average Fairy Tale by sorry Chantal Cedric. So it's a YA fairy tale based book with a male main character. So it's fun to have a male main character in a YA. It doesn't happen that often. Non fantasy anyway. You have like my YA contemporary books with males, but not fantasy. So that's cool. I saw seen it around on some obscure lists here and there, and it looks fun. I got it online a few years ago, and maybe last year. Not sure. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, I want to get to it. And then we have this one, 100 dager, of Inger Johanne Sæterbekk. It's a Norwegian book, as you see. I got it for my studies that I finished, my god, 2 years ago now. Time flies. We were supposed to read this book for, what's the word? For a class, my next to last semester. We got like a list. We were divided into groups and got like a list of books we were supposed to read, and this one was our book. But we were supposed to do this project before November, and this book came out in December. So I got it. Like I asked the publisher for if I could get a out of it, but I got it. But I got it in December, so I got it too late. So we ended up switching a book. But yeah, so I still have this one. Still haven't reviewed it, and it's been out a few years now. But yeah, it happens, don't it? Well, sorry. And then we have The Revenant of Traxon Hall, The Paranormal Casebook of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, by Vaughan Int Antwistle. That last name, hard to pronounce, but yeah. I got it from the fantasy store, like we have in Norway. We have like a fantasy chain where they have lots of fantasy books. I got it, let's say in 2015. I think I got it later, but just the prices then. And yeah, it's based around Sherlock Holmes or based around Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So it's historical and mystery and stuff. And yeah, really excited to get to it someday. And then we have this one. I actually didn't buy it myself. I suppose you could think like, oh, looks fancy. No, I just found it in like my house. But I think it looks so cool, so I kind of took it for myself. It's the Alexandria Quartet by Justine Balthazar and Lawrence Durrell. It's a classics trilogy. Oh, sorry, trilogy. Classic series made of 4 books, and it's set in ancient Egypt, Alexandria, as the name says. And yeah, it is actually also on my Goodreads current reading. I never even started, wanted to start it, just didn't. So yeah, might get to it this year maybe. Who knows? Hopefully, or in the future. Let's go here. Then we have A Night on the Orient Express by Veronica Henry. So it's about the Orient Express, and it's so it's set in modern day. It's luxury and mystery and romance. So yeah, it's an adult book. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Then we have The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde by Junot Diaz. It's his most, well, what is his most famous book? It's one of his most famous books. It's YA. It's won Pulitzer Prize. I got it. I got it used, and yeah, plan to get to it sometime. And then we have the Eddie Dickens trilogy by Philip Arag. It's a bind up, so it's all in one book. It's a middle grade series from the UK. Yeah, pretty sure it's from the UK. And it's won the Roald Dahl Funny Prize. And Roald Dahl, he wrote The Witches, the BFG, Charlie and Chocolate Factory. He's very famous classical children's author. And he has great humor in his books. So whenever Roald Dahl's name is attached to something, it's good. Then we have Nynnes Dagbok 3 by Henriette Lind og Lotte Thoresen. So this is Jenny's series. It came out was maybe now 10 years ago, like in the late, between 2005 and 2010, I think. It was described as a Danish British Jones. Yeah, it was 3 books. This was the 3rd book. I read the 1st book years ago. Never got to a 2nd and 3rd book. I found this in a flea market. And yeah, obviously I want a 2nd book one as well. And yeah, and they made, as you might see, the 1st book to a movie. Just so you know, if you want to see a Danish movie. And then, slow and steady. This video might be a whole hour long. Not sure. At least it's gonna be many more minutes. And then we have Rich People Problems by Kevin Kwan. It's the 3rd in the Crazy Rich Asian trilogy. And I got it in January. It was on sale. But it looks kind of nice. I suppose it's not that old, so it will look nice. Plan to get to this very soon. Hopefully I will. And then we have the roast product. The Rosy Results the third book in the Rosie Project series by Graeme Simpson. Yes, we'll read that last name. Yeah, in a moment. He's an Australian author, and yeah, this one is an adult contemporary series. Yeah, contemporary. Yes, contemporary. It's not mystery. It's not fun. Yeah, it's contemporary. The main character has autism, so that's quite fun aspect of the series. And yeah. Now we have The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Spiegel. It's classical classical fantasy. It's not big, and yeah. And then we have River Secrets by Shannon Hale. It's the fourth or third book in the Goose Girl series. No, it will be the fourth book, yeah, because you have Goose Girl, and then you have. No, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's in the Goose Girl series. Yeah, it's a good series. Well, good. I liked the first book ish, and the second book I didn't like that much. So and both are kind of slow. So this might end up actually in on hold, but I might read it first and then get away. Not sure, but yeah. Then we have En är min fiende. Yeah, En är min fiende by Victoria Holt. It's historical romance. Victoria Holt wrote books from the 1950s and onwards, I think, like a long time ago. A friend of mine recommended it to me a long time ago, and I got some of her books, and I haven't read all of them. I read some of them, and I enjoyed them. This one is translated to Someone is My Enemy. So, ooh, spooky! And then we have Millie's Flirt by Jill Mansell. So Jill Mansell used to write lots of chick lit. Now I think she's most known as a crime author. But before she used to write chick lit. I read some of her books before, and she's really good. And yeah. And then we have 20 Wishes by Debbie Macomber. Making Friends, Making Wishes. It's an adult contemporary, or maybe it's fantasy-ish. I'm not sure, but I got it for sale. So yep. Then let's go here. We have a Norwegian book. Well, Norwegian translated. It's Dagbok til Lottomillionærens datter of Penelope Bush. It's in a series Girl It. It's a middle grade series. I got it from a used flea market. It's translated as Diary to a Lotto Millionaire's daughter. So it's gonna be some Lotto winning here. So that's fun. Then we have Where There's a Way, where there's a will, there's a way. Or All I Really Need to Know, I Learned from Shakespeare. So it's a non-fiction book about Shakespeare by Laurie McGreen, PhD. So I like Shakespeare. I did try to read more Shakespeare earlier, and then I kind of gave up because of the language. But I do like Shakespeare. So like I might end up listening to some Shakespeare on audiobook, because I feel like audiobook I think it's best, or just sing it live. Reading Shakespeare didn't really work for me, but reading about Shakespeare, yeah, that's gonna work for me. Alright, like it. Now we have Look Who's Back by Timur Vermus. It's a kind of strange concept where it's a German author who wrote about like what happened if Hitler came back to today's Germany. So that's kind of interesting. It's a satire. It's not like fun or like on his side. It's a satire. So yeah, it's relevant in this Jojo Rabbit days. Still haven't seen that one. I want to see it. And then we have, oh my god, this is destroyed. Aww. Okay, anyway. Løgn og døden by Quentin Patrick. So it's translated as The Lie and Death. And Quentin Patrick is actually a more synonym, like for lots of people. It wasn't the one author, it was lots of people who wrote under the same name, but they wrote in the 1940s and 50s around the same age as Agatha Christie. So you have the historical part, you have the mystery. There's often locked rooms, and there's not that much gore. Though since Quentin Patrick was like different people writing on the same name, you have like some eras there were more gore, some were less gore. So yeah. And then you have Taus by Hannah Hannington, or in English, Silence. I think it's a YA about a girl that was raped and then she can't talk. Though I'm not quite sure. It came out in 2013, 12. So it's not old, it's just older. And I got it used. Okay, moment. Where to go? I'm going there now. And then we have Nissedreperen of Sigbjørn Mostø. Alvetegner. So, as you might assume, this is a Norwegian author. Norwegian YA fantasy, which is not a thing that's much of, but there are some. And yeah, this one translates to the Santa killer, so that's kind of creepy. And yeah, actually I hadn't read anything by this author before. I want to. I plan to actually get to him this year, so cross my fingers, I will. Then we have Fearless, book 1 of the King series by Tora Candle. It's a YA fantasy, and the first one in the trilogy, and that's all I know, really. That's all I want to know. Sometimes, isn't it fun to just go into a book not knowing much? At least I think so. And then we have One Hit Wonder by Lisa Jewell, a British chick lit for adults. And yeah, actually kind of want to get this soon, though who knows if I will. Hopefully I will. And then we have Siste buss til Woodstock, or Last Bus to Woodstock by Colin Dexter. If you pay attention, or if you know like mystery, you might know that Colin Dexter actually wrote the books that Morse is based on, the BBC series Morse. So this is the Morse books. So I've loved Morse the thesis for a long time, and I thought, you know what? I want to read the source material. So yeah. And then we have another Sigbjørn Mostø book. This is called Gravbøygen våkner. And yeah. And then we have sorry, The Best of Marion Zimmer Bradley. So it's like a collection of different stories she has. And it's fantasy. Thinking it's children's or YA, not sure. At least it's fantasy. And it's Rachel Mead's favorite series. So yeah, kind of want to give it a try. Then we have Døden på asylet, or Death at Asylum by Quentin Patrick again. I have two of the same book, it appears. Okay, The Lion Death again by Quentin Patrick. So, what am I going to do about that? Are we going to give one away? Good to know. And then we have The Murders in Kenmore Valley, Mordene in Kenmore Valley by Patrick. And then we have Adventsgaven by Jenny Gladwell. Sorry. So this one is actually kind of funny, at least I think so, because the idea or the concept, the words, the plot of this book is based around this tree. Well, on the cover, of course, it's naturally, but not always the cover is right. But yeah, because on the Second World War, Norway was under the Germans. We were occupied, but a lot of us went to UK to fight for Norway from the UK. And in the UK, we were welcomed from the British Army, and they helped us sabotage the Germans and stuff. So after that, after the Second World War, as a thank you to the English for how they helped us during the war, each year we give them a Christmas tree, and it's up in London in Trafalgar Square. Yeah, Trafalgar Square. This one is about a British journalist that goes to Norway to interview about this, and I think she might go back to London, and yeah. So this is gonna be fun. So probably gonna read this in December this year. So might read before. Who knows? I'm wacky that way. And then we have Ink, Iron and Glass by Gwendolyn Clare. It's the first in a high fantasy series, but it's based around historical Italy. So that seems to be cool. And the concept is that if the characters write something, it comes to life. So it's kind of ink-arty. So that's really cool. And it's court and intrigue, and yeah. Now we have, well, I don't really think you need to know much about this one, but A Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. You probably have heard lots about this, so I won't really say that much more. Really want to get to it soon. I'm really excited that the third book is coming this year. So fun. And yeah. Then we have Daughter of the Burning City by Mandy Foodie. I'm actually a bit unsure about this because it takes place in a circus. I read Night Circus and I wasn't that into it, and I don't really like circuses that much. But I got it for free for a friend, and yeah. For now, it's just there on my shelf. So I'm not sure if I'll read it or not, but who knows. It's there if I decide to read it. Now we have Told Stories by Tom Holt. I think he's a British author. Anyway, he's an author. Well, always are, but yeah. Sorry. He writes fantasy, and fun fantasy. Very fun. People have said he's a very fun author. And I haven't heard much about him, but heard a bit about him, only praise. And he writes adults, and let's say something more. I forgot about it. Oh, okay. And onwards. Just had to fix something, so yeah, I'm back. 4 more books. It's not done yet. So yeah, now we have The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. It's adult fantasy. It's set around a guy who gets reincarnated. At least that's what I get out of it. I was supposed to buddy read it a few years ago. Group read it, something. Didn't get around to it. Still want to read it. And yeah. And then we have Conceal, Don't Feel by Jen Kalonita. So it's a twisted tale. Disney has a series of books where they have people write takes on their movies. So this is a take on Frozen, which I suppose you could guess from the title and the cover. Yeah, and the hook is what if Elsa and Anna never met? Quite interesting. And though how would that work? They're sisters, so I'm quite curious about that one. And then you have The Bells by Jonelle Clayton. It's the first one in the series. It is dystopian, which I don't really like that much, but kind of want to read this one anyway. I'm a bit curious about it, so yeah. Just move it there. Then we have A Whole New World by Liz Braswell, a take on Aladdin. and it is what if Aladdin had never found a lamp? So that's quite interesting. My favorite Disney movie is Aladdin. Well, one of favorites. I can't really say one favorite. That's just mean. But one of my ultimate favorites is Aladdin. So yeah. And then we have The Cooper Promise by Jen Williams. So at the store, it was described to me as Firefly, just fantasy, and steampunky. So yeah, I love Firefly. So yeah, excited to get this one. And then we have Retribution Falls. No, maybe this one was Firefly. One of these two was described as Firefly. Anyway, they're both fantasy, and I think this one's steampunky. And yeah. And then we have Dead is a State of Mind by Marlene Perez. It's in the Dead Is series. I read the first book years ago, and I wanted to read more of the books, so I bought lots of them. So yeah, they're here. Next. It's YA fantasy series. Think Merc Marsh is, actually. Now you have Dead is So Last Year. Dead is a killer tune. Yep. And you have Dead is a battlefield. Dead is not an option. Dead is just a rumor. And yeah, that was all of those. And then you have Gideon the Ninth by Samson Muir, which everyone and their mom talked about last year. It came out last year. It's lesbians and queer people in space, necromancers, and yeah. And then you have The Field Guide to a North American Teenager by Ben Philippe. First, I'd heard about this, like I seen it on this, but it wasn't like overly interested in it. At least it was just a name, a title on different lists. But then I saw an Epic Reads video where they talked about TV series. They wanted to have more seasons. And Ben Philippe said he wanted some more Gilmore Girls. And I'm like, you're Gilly? Yeah, I'm gonna read your book. Also, it says, by far the funniest, wittiest, smartest character I ever read. So yeah, I'm so excited to get this one. So excited! Then let's go here. We have The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. It's the first book in a trilogy. It's huge. I haven't gotten into it yet because, yeah, it intimidates me. I do want to get to it, which, yeah, kind of obviously, well, not obviously, but yeah, it's such a big player in fantasy world. So yeah. Then we have The Athenian Murders by Jose Carlos Somoza. I can't really remember where I got this. Probably flea market somewhere. Yeah, probably. It's from 2002, so it's pretty young. Sorry, old. Well, oldish. Not like old, but it's not the newest. And yeah, it looks like it takes place in ancient Athens, so that's really cool. Adults, and yeah. And then you have Sacre Bleu by Christopher Moore. So Christopher Moore is actually a bit of story time. I read Stupidest Angel by him years ago. Loved it. Reread it years after. Loved it. I read one book by him after that. Didn't like it that much. But it's still, I love his style enough that I want to try this one. It's a comedy set in Paris. And there's also in the interviews and stuff in the book. So, yeah. And then we have Johnny McIntosh på Galantiske Eventyr by Keith Mansfield. I got lots of books from a friend of mine some years ago. She just gave them to me because she didn't really want to read them herself. Lots of them middle grade. So this is one of those. So I'm trying to make it do like a middle grade themed month or week or something this year to like get through a lot of them. Well, like just pepper them in like during the year. Who knows? And then we have Skipsbruden by Torkelsen. It's a Norwegian book. Duh. And I got it from a library sale, I think. Yeah. And it's about shipwrecks and stuff. so that's cool. And then you have Akterutseilt by the same author, so it seems to be in the same trilogy or series. And then you have The Dreadful School by A.S. Neil. Looks like some kind of classical thing. I got it from a library sale because it has a library thing at the back. And yeah. And then we have more Quentin Patrick. Well, it says Jonathan Stange, but that was one of Quentin Patrick's names. And it's called the Tre Rädsler, the Three Horrors. Some of these books are more scary than others, so I'm interested. I'm curious because I don't like to be scared, as I said. But yeah. And then we have Het blod og høyt spill by Aleko Lilius. I got it from a library book sale and it looks so cool. I like how these older books just like have very plain covers. I really like that. You didn't really get that much image, you just had the book itself. So that's really cool. And then we have Professor Barlow's Varulv-eksperiment of Cecil Chipman. This one is actually a Norwegian book. Pretty sure. I'm double checking, but I'm pretty sure it's Norwegian written. Yeah, anyway. It's about werewolves. It's about it's middle grade werewolves, Norwegian. And yeah. And then we have Drømmejegeren of Jan Tore Noreng. It's another middle grade book. I don't know much about it, but it looks cool. Now we're at like the end here. Not that many more files left actually. But yeah, it's going to be 1 hour. Pretty sure it is. Anyway, A Comic Mind, Comedy and Movies by Gerald Mast. It's a non-fiction about comedies and comedics. I really like comedy, so yep. And then we have The Snow Leopard by Peter Mathiesen. It's a journey through the Himalayas. I think it's probably very impulse buy. It was words. It was used book buy, and yep. And then we have Carrie Fisher, Delusions of a Grandma. I'm actually not a huge Star Wars fan, but Carrie Fisher herself, she has like funny, great interviews, and yeah. And I kind of want to read. She also wrote some books. I kind of want to read them. I got some of them here. Yep. And then we have Monstrous Little Voices by Jonathan Barnes, Adrian Tchaikovsky, Emma Newman, Kate Hertfield, and Foss Meadows. So it's Shakespeare retold in fantasy settings. And yeah. And then we have Norwegian book, Barmhjertighet of Knut Nærum. He's a Norwegian author. Well, he's an author as well. He's a Norwegian comedian who writes books sometimes. And this is a satire he's written about, I think it's something about a murderer, not sure. But he's a very funny man anyway, so yeah, I like to go to it. And then we have Space Opera by Catherine M. Valenti. I've heard mostly praise about this, but some bad stuff, so curious to get to it. And then we have Go Tell It to Miss Glufley by Catherine Cookson. She's a classic historical romance writer. Actually, I think I actually read one book by her last year. Didn't like it all that much. I think I DNF'd it. But I already bought lots of books by her. But you know, authors often have some hits, some misses, so yeah. And then we have The Gospel of Loki by Joanne M. Harris. It's a book around Norse mythology. You know, Loki, the trickster god, or known as Tom Hiddleston from the movies, in the movies. Yeah, and in Thailand, it's an epic story of the trickster god. Now we have The Outer World by Mrs. Lucky. She's a very known fantasy and science fiction author. She writes both for kids and adults, and yeah, I really love her fairy tales retellings. So this is one of the science fiction books. And then The Croneborn by her and Larry Dixon. And then we have Norwegian Skipbrudene fra Det flygende Hollander by Brian Jacks. So it's also about shipwrecks. I think it's like uh, ghost stories as well. Not sure. And UNread. And yeah. Now we have Acid by Emma Pass. It's a UK author, and I think it's about assassin or something. I bought it years ago. Don't remember exactly what it's about now. Might end up DNF unhauling it, but for now, I own it. Now we have The Fatuous by Chan Kabuchung. So it's a satire and fantasy based around China, an adult book. So it's interesting. There's 3 more piles. Not that long to go now. And then we have Sir Nigel by Arthur Conan Doyle. People often think he just wrote Sherlock Holmes, and I suppose that's what it's most known for. But he wrote like Yankee in King Arthur's court, and he wrote this one, and he wrote different stuff really. So yeah, this one I got from my friend. Sorry, I mean, she's a friend as well. From my friend and sister, for Christmas a few years ago. Birthday, Christmas, doesn't matter. And yeah, I'll want to get to it. Though, as you can see, it's a bit old, and it's not just old. It's like it's I think it's actually Danish, or maybe it's like just written in an old Norwegian written style. So it's maybe a bit of a hassle to read. So yeah, but I do want to get to it sometime. I do want to try to get to it anyway. No, yeah, doesn't look that hard. We would just have to get used to it. Yeah, moving on. On to the bridge. Now we have the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave, an instance of the life of a slave girl, Frederick Douglass and Harriet Jacobs. So it's about slavery and the US and stuff like that. So hard hitting, but yeah, I kind of want to get to it. And then we have The Hemmelige Løfte of Annette Dutten. It's it says it's the best German love romance since 2015. Cool. I've had it for some years. I have not gone into it yet. Well, it's in this book, so video. So yeah. Stop babbling. Okay, maybe. Now we have Stumpa og Syndrom, which is the Norwegian translation of The Trouble with Jennings, or the Jennings series. It was a series set in the 50s of boys in a boarding school and all the hijinks they go to. Very funny books and stories. And then we have Charles Dickens. Which one is it? Just says Charles Dickens. Is it Oh, it seems to be a Charles Dickens biography. That's quite fun. I thought it was his book. Seems not. Cool. And then we have Kjærlighetens dårskap og Drømmepiken. So these are just books I found in flea markets, and they don't really have an author item, so that's weird. Older books, romance, both of these, 2 books in one, so that's cool. Yeah, and next pile, several books are like older, fancier books. And this one is another Jennings. It's actually the first one, so that's cool. And then you have Arthur Conan Doyle, The Adventurer, or in Norwegian, Eventyret. And then you have a bind-up of En kiste til Dimitros, Dobbeltgjengeren, Edderkoppnettet, Uten alibi, og Vindeltrappen. So it's like scary or mystery books in one book. For stories, adults, and yep. And then we have Skogbrann, Et barn blir borte, Gepardene og Pattersandsflyverne. It doesn't say the authors, but yeah, also 4 books in one. And I think most of these are mysteries. And yeah, I really love these covers. Old style and so beautiful. And then we have De kalte ham El Greco, Prinsessen, Øst for Eden, og Detektivenes århundre. I think I already read one of these, I'm not sure. I don't think I read all of them. So, yeah. Oh, God. Starting to feel it now. Very soon, I'm finished. Okay, so then we have Per Dør of Per Fugelli. I talked about this one a bit before. It's lovely. It's a non-fiction memoir from the author himself. Well, obviously. He was diagnosed with cancer in 2010 or 9 or something. And then he's just been waiting to die, more or less. He's been practicing as a doctor for a long time, so he has both sides of looking at their life, like being a doctor and being a patient. He says a lot of fun things, and yeah. Now we have Lily and Rockets by Rebecca Stevens. Historical YA. Feminism set during the First World War in UK. The Marked Girl by Lindsay Kengele, YA Fantasy. Tell Me Again How I Should Feel by Safira Farisan. Sarah Farisan. One Italian Summer by Carrie Stanton. The Freedom Maze by Delia Sherman. Scarlet by Alexandra Ripley. It's actually the sequel to Gone with the Wind, so I have to read that one first, but yeah. The last pile. No, now it's the last pile. I forgot some books, but now we have Fireborn by Rosario Mundo. Split Second by Casey West. The Essence by Kimberly Durting. All YA books. The Offering by Kimberly Durting. If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wibley and Austin Sigmund Brooker. I think this is Shakespeare retelling, I'm not quite sure. It's YA contemporary anyway. The Beholder by Anna Bright. Ordinary Girls by Blair Thornborough. Going Off Script by Jen Wild. Love and Outer Curses by Michael Thomas Ford. The Diary of a Bookseller by Sean Blackwell. Here There Be Dragons by James A. Owen. Palace of Spies by Sarah Settle. And More Than Jamie Baker by Kelly Oram. So, yeah, that became 1 hour long. I hope you had some coffee, tea, or maybe cake to enjoy this video. And yeah, I'm probably gonna do this video, I'm thinking every year, so that hopefully I'll see a progress. I'll see less books, I might see different books. Hopefully this video won't stay the same all through. So yeah, this is me saying Renee out. I'm back. So yeah, of course I forgot a few books. Well, I suppose they aren't books. They are books, comic books. And yeah, I'll just add them here till to the end of this whole video. Gulosten, Liv I helvete, as you see in Norwegian one. It's historical based, I'm guessing. And then you have Rat Queens, Volume 3, Demons, Volume 4, High Palaces, Princeless, The Raven Princess, Volume 1, The Wicked and Divine, Volume 1, and Skyward Volume 1. And those were that. And that's, my friend, is all. Bye bye. If you have any thoughts on any of these books, if you think any of them look fun or anything, just comment in the comments. And I'll see you later. Bye bye.